Hey there, boys and girls. It's Ralph Garman, and you're listening to Talking Codswallop. Good choice.
Hello, everybody. This is Ming Chen from AMC's Comic Book Man. You might know me from the Tell 'em Steve Dave podcast and the I Sell Comics podcast. Listen, I love podcasting. I love talking, but what I really love doing is talking Codswallop.
Hey, I'm Alicia Witt.
I'm Daniel Portman from Game of Thrones. I play Podrick Payne.
I'm Ellipses, and you're listening to the Talking... Okay, I'm Mark Bernard, and you're listening to the Talking Codswallop podcast.
Hey man, it's Kevin Smith, Silent Bob, whose voice you were never used to hearing in the 90s until I started opening it up, man. And that's because I'm a podcaster and you're listening to a podcast, Talking Codswallop, right here, man.
Welcome to this week's Talking Codswallop. I am Gemma.
I'm James.
Hey, James.
Hello, Gemma.
How are you doing? I got a frog in my throat again.
Shocking. The waters are still as they were, shall we say.
Okay.
You see, it's still choppy. So I'm still not well, but I don't want to bore the salty tadpoles with my continuing unaltering health thing. Just to say I'm still ploughing through COVID-19 and all the, long COVID-19 and all the joyous things that come from that. So
yeah, definitely. And, you know, I mean, what you could do while you're sort of sitting around resting and things, and I know you do your exercises still, but when the moments you are sitting around, maybe you could, for next week, make up a story of what you've done, even if it's not real.
Okay. So if you're listening to this tadpoles, you don't want me to lie to you.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah. Shocking, fucking shocking.
Well, don't you know that everything that you hear on a podcast or on the telly or in the newspapers is real? Right, let's get into this then. So, James, have you been out and about and managed to get yourself some codswallops this week or not really?
The only codswallop I can think of is that, as I mentioned to you earlier, to codswallop for myself that when my chest is very bad, all I got told was by the doctor is, well, you're just going to have to put up with it and
yeah,
and deal with it. But yeah, that was probably the only codswallop I can think of. Actually, it's not, there's nothing else that's particularly been a problem for me other than my health. What about yourself, Gemma?
Yeah, well, yes, I have definitely got codswallops. I think I ended up with 5 in the end. So, we'll definitely kill some time with them. But I also, I was just thinking whether I'd done anything this week either, because I didn't think to actually say that. But, one thing that I did do is I went to Pool, which has got an indoor shopping area. It wasn't the nicest of experiences, to be completely honest, during the pandemic. I got a bit panicked. And because people were just walking so closely and it was all indoors. So that wasn't really a fun experience. But, I need to do these more and more just to get myself used to it a little bit more, I think, because I've almost become like a bit of a hermit, But
if you want to have a gap of people around you, just start coughing and sneezing a lot very, very loudly.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't think even that kind of thing works anymore. But, it's like I don't know, just everybody was so close that, like I was trying to make myself almost shrink in size, which was almost impossible. But, oh, and also that day as well, because there is an outdoor bit as well. So I went to the outdoor bit to have a little breather and stuff and a cigarette as well. And
amuses me, idea of a breather and a cigarette, but go on.
Well, that's how I roll. So, but it was a breather as well. I was walking up and down the high street, so it wasn't just out for a cigarette. And there was this woman who came up to me, and you could tell, well, she was either homeless or pretending to be homeless. I'm not 100% sure, and I know that sounds horrible, but there's a lot of people that sort of fake it out there, so it is tricky to know which is which. Yeah, and so she came up to me. She goes, because I was smoking a cigarette at this time. Basically, she's trying to buy a cigarette off me for 15p. And I just turned around to her and I said, no, I don't want to, because they cost so much, you know what I mean? And she's like, I'm just smoking cigarette butts. Let me show you. I was like, oh, pity party, like, oh, woe is me. And after I said no, she just like kept cursing me. She was just like, that fucking bitch over there. She, and all of a sudden she wasn't frail anymore. She was, that fucking bitch won't give me a cigarette. And I was just like, oh, just get over yourself, love.
So Salt Tadpoles, the lesson here is that if you ever around Gemma and she asks you for a cigarette, you have to say no.
No, it's not that.
No,
it's just...
no.
I mean, to be completely honest, though, I'm a smoker, so I've always got cigarettes with me. It wasn't the fact that she'd asked me.
No.
It was because she was putting on the fake I'm so frail kind of voice. And it was just getting on my nerves. And I was just like, nah, you're all right, love. Bugger off. So, yeah. So that happened all in one day.
Mm-hmm.
Failing that, I don't think anything else really happened. So, yeah, nothing really to report. So I'll get onto my Codswallop list.
That wasn't your Codswallop, right? Okay.
Okay, so are you ready? I've also got a funny story as well, but I'll go with my Codswallops first.
I don't know if I am ready after the shocking 2 stories I've already heard, but go on.
What, a panic attack and denying someone a cigarette? Well, normally I'd be like, oh, here you go, just have it. But just for some reason, I just didn't want to with her. Right, so have you noticed, when you go to like service stations or petrol stations or whatever that have got toilets, that sometimes they are like ladies / disabled, and you got the men's toilets which are also disabled on some occasions, or sometimes it's just unisex and disabled. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean anyway, hopefully. The Codswallop that I have is, why is it that the mirrors are so low down? Now I get that they have to be low down for the disabled person if the disabled person is in a wheelchair, but why can't they make the mirror longer so that the able-bodied people can actually see themselves in the mirror?
That's a very good question. Or why not, like either, as you said, have one continuous mirror or just have 2 separate mirrors? Because, but the only benefit you can say is, Gemma, it's very harsh that you've discriminated against some weird, crazy woman asking you for cigarettes, and now you've discriminated against disabled people. She's harsh, isn't she, Salty Tadpoles? So very harsh. Or alternatively, you could say that people, you could use that to your advantage and check your shoes are okay. But, who am I to judge?
Actually, funny you say that, James. I do tend to use it to my advantage because obviously I wear a lot of, well, not always, but I wear a lot of dresses or long shirt, long t-shirt type things, and I always make sure that, items aren't stuck in my knickers or anything like that before I leave. So in that sense, they're very beneficial. But yeah, I really have to sort of almost get on my hands and knees to actually see my face.
Which is not what you want to do in a public toilet.
No. And on the same subject as well, this is the same toilet. There was also wee all around the seat, and it was disgusting, James. It was the only one available, and it was desperate times. So I had to I had to get some tissue, and I had to like wipe it, obviously wipe the seat clean and stuff. But it's just not necessary.
Wipe the seat clean and look at your shoes at the same time. I mean, that's a heady combination, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But so those are sort of 2 combined Codswallops, really. Another one that you may not relate to, but I don't want to assume that you don't relate to. So, here we go. When you're, obviously with regards to ladies wearing bras, and, sometimes gentlemen wear them too, that when the bra strap is all twisted, and it's just so irritating because you can't untwist it, and it's like so painful. and it kind of digs in, and it's just like, oh. And all the female listeners are going to be able to relate to that, because it is so frustrating when the bra strap is twisted and you just can't do anything about it.
Unlike Walt Flanagan, I can't be one of these people who says, I feel your pain. I can only assume this is a terrible thing, and I apologise you have to go through this.
Thank you very much. That's all I really needed, to be honest.
Why don't you contact Walt with this as a thing and see if he has a response?
Oh, I could do.
Some sort of, comment, since he says he feels the pain of women on the period, so...
Yeah. Well, maybe I could. I'll see what happens. I think this is number 3 or number 4. I can't remember now. And again, this is kind of, they're all unique to me because they are my Codswallops. But, when you're rolling a cigarette, you've got different types of papers. So you've got like different brands called Rizla, and you're probably familiar with Rizla.
I do. I remember cigarette papers, yeah.
Yeah. So I hate Rizla cigarette papers, because they never ever stick. So halfway through smoking it, it starts unraveling and the glue unravels. And it's been like a recent thing in, the last few months or whatever. And then you find that even though it's lit, you need to sort of go back and actually lick the cigarette as it's lit, to try and keep it all together. And it's really frustrating as well, because when you buy your tobacco, so like if you get like 50 grams or whatever, they now put a couple of Rizlas inside. It's like, oh.
A huge fan of rolling my own cigarettes. I did it when in desperate measures sort of situation. But the other thing I used to hate on cigarette paper were lightweight cigarette papers.
Oh yeah.
They were like tracing paper. They were just, I could never really understand why anyone would want them, unless they just want a very light smoke. I just never understood the reason behind the really light cigarette papers. So. No,
yeah, I can understand that as well, because it's just like, it's so frustrating as well, because you've done, basically I use a rolling machine, so I've got like a tin that I can use and stuff like that. Like it does the rolling for me because I'm unable. My fingers and thumbs don't work together properly, and and then for it to like fall apart mid smoke, it's just like There is a brand that I really do like, and if they want to sponsor us, they're more than welcome. That is ZigZag.
I remember them, yeah. Yeah,
and they're really good. So it's like the glue really is quite sticky, so it like sticks them all together. So probably because it's got more toxins and stuff like that in it, but So I don't like Rizla, but I do like ZigZag. So if they want to sponsor us, they're more than welcome to.
Clearly, what you're telling me is ZigZag contains more horse bones.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I don't know what it contains. Never looked at the ingredients, Sometimes it's best not to know things.
It's like, what does Pedigree Chummins and ZigZag have in common?
Both contain dog.
Dog? Really? Dog?
Why not?
Horse bones. The glue.
All right, horse bones and glue. Fair enough. And my final one, it basically, that I like to play Pokemon Go, and there's a couple of groups on Facebook, like in the sort of messenger section, where you've got people who also play the game, so we can like invite each other to join in raids and things like that. Actually, sometimes with the bigger ones, you need a minimum of 5 people or whatever to actually achieve it, complete it, sort of thing. Mm-hmm. So it's like a nice little community anyway. And there's always this one girl who is also one of the admins of the group, which really annoys me anyway. She's always seems to have a problem with people, and she's always causing issues and chaos within the group. And it's just this one person. And I just don't like her in general, to be honest, because it's like she's a bit of a bully.
Mm.
So she tries to take down people that are not doing exactly what she thinks that she should be, that they should be doing, sort of thing. It's up to her to decide what they should be doing with their game, because at the end of the day it's just a bloody game. But yeah, it's just ridiculous. And like, I left the group the other day because I was like, oh, I've had enough of it. But then realised that I started missing all the other people, so I asked one of the other admins to add me back in. And then I also thought, while I was out of it as well, that why should I leave just because old bully over here is trying to get everyone out? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm normally the only one who sort of sticks up for people in there, you know, and I'm like, being a bit harsh. Come on, chill out a bit. You know, it's only a game. So I'm back in the group now, but yeah, I don't know. I just don't like people who have got bully tactics.
And do you think she gets on the nerves of other people?
Yes.
Right.
100% she does.
It's interesting she's an admin as well, and she's still around and still annoying people.
Yeah, I know. Well, you kind of think, but I suppose the others don't want to cause any issues, but you'd kind of think that the other admins would kind of like maybe boot her out if she's the only person causing problems. But yeah, you do get some very, you see it on things like Facebook, you can get some very odd people who are running groups and can get rather nasty towards members, which always seems a bit counterintuitive because you need the members. Yeah. I know, it's absolutely ridiculous. There's one girl, she was complaining about, basically she kicked this girl out of this group, the same group that I'm referring to, because with Pokemon Go what you've got is certain places are like churches, for example, they are what they call gyms. So it's like you can put, if it's the colour blue, which is my team, you can put your Pokemon in if it's got space. So I think it takes up to about 5 or 6 or something like that. I don't know. I can't remember. But anyway, so basically this bitch girl and this nice girl, they both live quite near it and they're opposite teams. So they sort of battle to take over it, if that makes sense. I know it won't fully make sense to you, James, because you don't play, but you know. So basically, because she'd booted her out of this gym, she decided she was going to boot her out of the group.
Right. Okay. So far,
you're not really getting. Yeah. But you know, it was just so pathetic, and it was like, I turned around and I said, "Well, could you not have contacted her separately beforehand? You know, it seems a bit extreme to kick her out of a group that she's been a happy member in, you know, blah, blah, blah." You know, and it was just, you know, she reacts before she thinks, if you know what I mean. So
she sounds like an odd one, so yes.
Yeah, she's an odd one, but she's a bit of a bully as well. So we'll leave it there. So I think we should go on to my funny story. What do you reckon, James?
Yeah, please. It'll you know, dispel some of the rage that you're feeling. Tell us your funny story.
Yeah, indeed. Right, so I got to get a little bit graphic with this one as well, so please bear with me. So I'd popped to the toilet at home and I'd left the door open, just like a crack.
Just pause you for a second. I'm noticing a toilet theme, but go on.
Yeah, there is with my story of the week as well. Yeah, there will be a theme this week. So I left the door open, like a really small crack. So, you know, like, because I was in a bit of a rush to get to the toilet, basically, because I really needed a number 1. So it was only number 1, so don't worry. And it was a wee. So anyway, sit.
None of these things were of concern to me, but you know there'll be salty tadpoles sat with bated breath.
Yeah.
Some of the really sick, perverted ones making notes, but go on.
So I sat there on the porcelain toilet, making my story extra amazing, and doing my number 1, you know, having a little wee, and all of a sudden, the dog managed to open the door.
I knew it was a dog.
He came bounding into the bathroom and sat in front of me and just wanted me to stroke him.
Oh.
He was sat facing away from me, so he was literally right there, and I was just like, "I get out!"
I mean, it's nice that he came in and wanted to see you.
Yeah.
Built in a better location.
It was so funny though, because like he was quite scared of the bathroom to begin with, because like that was obviously where he had to have a bath once, you know. So, but yeah.
Bad memories for him.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it seems to be that he's all right now, so which is good. But yeah, it was just the fact that he wouldn't move, and I was just like, "Come on, Socks, go!"
Oh,
So,
dear.
I need to wipe.
More information than I needed. Definitely more information than I needed. I mean, I'll tell you something that'll really make you, it'll probably be quite disconcerting for you, but you are aware that up to the inclusion of the dog, that's probably somebody's wank bank material, don't you? You are aware of that. Some weirdo somewhere will be getting off on your conversation about going to the toilet.
Oh, that's fine. Whatever makes them happy. Oh dear, but it was so funny because it was just like, "Oh, you idiot, get out."
I realised when I use terms like wank bank, I've been talking to Joanne for too long. Go on.
I was thinking that as well, but yeah, it was like I was saying a week or so ago that when we recorded last, that like I listened back to an older episode, and it was so funny because it was, although your audio wasn't fantastic because it was, I won't repeat. We covered this on a previous episode. You won't remember, but but you were very sort of reserved and very sort of private then, and it's quite nice how you are now. You're very more open and comical.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent. It's the future.
It is the future, and the future is great.
I've been hanging around all you perverts, and the salty tadpoles influence have clearly, it's all good.
Exactly. That's the main thing, isn't it? So, we've changed you. You're a changed man.
Well, considering that we is the top topic of this portion of the conversation.
Well.
Oh, boom, boom. He's stealing my lexicon now.
Another thing that we did this week as well, not this week, a couple of weeks ago, we put out a question of the week. So, James, should we go onto our question of the week answers?
Yes, please. Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah? Okay, cool. Did you want to read the Facebook ones? And I'll read the Twitter ones?
Yep, send me load up.
Okay. While you do that, I'll read out the question of the week.
Fire away.
So, you're given the keys to the magic school bus. Where are you going? This was given to us by Graham Arnold. So thank you ever so much, Graham, for giving us a question to ask the Tadpoles. I will, because we've got quite a few answers from Twitter as well. So shall I do those first and then you?
Yep, go on.
Yeah? Okay, cool. So Tim, who is the amazing Codswallop cherry popper, he says, oh, that was very high-pitched. He says, I would travel to all the kids' futures to show them at 30 years old. Upon seeing how fucking shitty they are, I would help them so that they would be better people, deciding to cure dementia, cancer, and other horrible stuff. Sorry, put other horrible shit. Sorry, Tim. I didn't mean to censor you there. He continues with, of course, eventually, this new utopia would need a ruler, which would be my cat Milo. He would rule with an iron paw, unless you have dreamies. And then he sent me a picture of his cat, and it's absolutely adorable. So. And then the other one that we had from Twitter was from Nathan Page, who we've not heard from for a while, but I've been chatting with him. So he's well, which is really nice. He's our little paranormal expert. Oh my God, what's wrong with my mouth today? Paranormal expert, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right, so he says, I'd go back in time to Victorian times, take a DVD player, a TV, and a copy of Dawn of the Dead and tell them it's a real documentary from the future. I put, amazing. Only one small problem. You may have an issue plugging it all in. Unless, of course, you take a battery-powered one.
Yeah, unless he takes a portable that's already charged. I see a flaw in his argument.
Yes. Yeah. I think, unfortunately, we both came to the same conclusion with that one, didn't we? But it is also quite a brilliant idea. So let's hope that he's got a battery-powered one or whatever.
I like his optimism, though.
Yeah. What's from the Facebook group?
So James Higson put, and I think that's the best, it's my favourite so far on these, straight to the education board. As there is no way this woman is a licensed teacher. Owen Edmonds has put, I'm going back 70 million years to the Badlands in South Dakota. Why? And he's just put in huge capitals, Tyrannosaurus Rex. He wants to be eaten by a T-Rex or just wants to see a T-Rex. Carl Foley's put, well, if I had the keys to the magic school bus, I think a little trip to space to see what is actually going on out there. If we are flat, round, or just an ornament on someone's desk, Men in Black style, with a lock of people, LOL. And he's put a little laughing face, a little questioning face with random, I know, written next to it.
That's why we love the Salty Tadpoles. We love them to be random.
Rachel Gummer's put definitely the Bennington Triangle in is it Bacau in Romania? So I can find out where the people went that disappeared. And Graham Arnold, you pervert, what a good answer though. Kate Beckinsale's underwear. I'm just going to say I'll high five him on that one.
That did make me laugh as well. Yeah, you pervs.
He's a pervert, but he's our pervert. So.
He is our pervert. You're right. Again with the toilet talk and Nick.
You're all perverts.
Yeah, thank you ever so much to everybody who answered those. Because I know obviously we put it out, and then I think obviously what we need to do is put it out actually the week that we're recording rather than a couple of weeks prior. But, still, we had some amazing responses, so that's really great. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys and girls.
Should we move on to some, what's it called? Would you rathers, James?
Yes. So I was just amused when you completely stopped and what is it called? You're having a me moment.
Yes, I am.
You can't remember anything.
No, to be fair, I have just finished work as well, though, so my brain is a little bit fried from work. It's my excuse. I'm sticking to it.
Good one.
So, have you got some would you rathers?
I have, yes.
Wow.
Do you want to kick off?
Go on then. Yeah.
Okay. So, would you rather be given a loved one's head to keep after they pass away, or be given your ex-lover's head to keep?
Well, if I have to choose, then it would be a family member. Because the ex is an ex for a reason. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't want to see him again or her again.
Yes.
What about you?
No, I can see the logic behind that. I think you go, really neither, but I think, go the loved one's head. Although, if you ended on bad terms with your ex, you could look at the frozen head or whatever it is and be like, you bastard, sort of thing. So,
what, throw darts at it and stuff?
Yeah. Or to just say things like, I'm alive, you're dead.
Would you rather have a mullet haircut or a ponytail haircut?
Ponytail.
Ponytail.
Yeah, ponytail. I've been very close to having a ponytail, so I'll go with the ponytail.
Okay. I would also go for a ponytail as well, but then, I think, there's not many women who are walking around with a mullet haircut, is there? So
not anymore, no.
No.
Probably many years ago, or possibly if they're, no, I won't go there. Carry on.
No, not carry on. You're the next.
Oh, yeah, it is me, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so which one should I go with?
You can use both.
I'm trying to find one. Would you rather be a werewolf or a vampire?
Oh, see, that is a good one, but I think I would prefer to be a werewolf because at least not a werewolf, a vampire, because you're only a werewolf like when there's a full moon.
Mm-hmm.
So at least if you're a vampire, you could be a vampire every night, all nights. You know.
I would be a vampire too, simply because less shedding issues.
That as well. That's a very good point. Yeah, you wouldn't have to cut your hair.
Yep, less chance of getting fleas as well, or ticks.
Yeah. Just have to like the taste of blood. But then you like what's it called, black pudding and stuff like that. So you'll be fine.
I mean, it's slightly different to drinking blood, I'm sure, but yeah, bring it on. Give it a shot.
You won't be able to eat garlic though.
Oh God, that's true. I didn't think of that one. I'd still prefer that than turning into a giant fur ball. So yeah.
And then just appearing naked during the day. Hi.
The problem is that you'd then be getting arrested for gross public indecency.
Yes, yeah, you definitely would. Would you rather have a time machine or a teleporter?
I'm assuming I can get to and from the places. I think a time machine would be more interesting.
Yeah, I'm with the time machine. It's always a time machine for me. And yes, you can do whatever you like with it. It's your time machine. You do whatever you want.
Now, for my next one, I chose one that I think is very specific for you, Gemma.
Okay.
Do you rather have someone sneeze in your face or blow their nose into your outfit?
Ugh. Oh. I'd say blow their nose into my outfit because sneezing in your face is disgusting. I mean, they're both disgusting.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. I could deal with somebody blowing their nose. You know, I mean, you know how I feel about people blowing their noses, but I couldn't physically want to have people snot all over my face.
No, I think I would prefer having someone blow the nose on my garment than sneezing on me, I think.
Yeah, 'cause I suppose at least then you can like punch them in the head, can't you? For doing it. They're closer.
I think there's slightly less violent response, but yeah.
Well, they don't know my thoughts and theories on people blowing their noses, though, do they? So
you're a harsh one.
I am. But only for people who blow their noses. So everybody.
Yep.
Mine are quite placid in comparison.
Okay.
This one isn't. Would you rather get your wisdom teeth pulled or your butt cheeks pierced?
Well,
this is when you confess, I have my butt cheeks pierced.
I'm not Steve-O. I've not had a hole like he said. I'm getting a hole sealed up.
Yeah.
Well, I think it'd have to be wisdom teeth. I mean, that there's a proper procedure around that, and I do actually trust my dentist and like him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because you're not getting my asshole sort of pierced together is going to be reversible. So, yeah.
I mean, it doesn't say it. We just went the Steve-O route. It doesn't actually say the word together. It just says butt cheeks pierced. So it could be like you have a piercing on one butt cheek and a piercing on the other.
No, I think I'll just go with the wisdom teeth. I do trust my dentist a lot, so.
Yeah. I think also, usually, well, when I can't remember actually if I did have to have wisdom tooth taken out or whatever, but I remember being pretty much knocked out for dental work before, so yeah, I'd go for that as well. I'm not massively into piercings. If it was a tattoo on my bum, then I'd probably go for a tattoo, but not a piercing, I don't think.
My next one, would you rather drink animal blood once a day or drink human blood once a day?
It's back to the vampire. So am I a vampire or am I human?
I don't know.
And surely the two kind of taste the same, don't they?
I suspect so, yeah. Because, like, if you have a rare steak, you have some sort of, exposure to the taste of blood. So, yeah. And human blood, I don't know, really. I'm not phased on either, to be honest.
No. I'd say probably animal because, I don't know. Ew on both accounts, basically. But probably leaning more towards the animal side of things than the human side of things.
Mm-hmm. No, I'd agree. I can see that, yeah.
Yeah, seems a bit cannibalistic, doesn't it, to have anything human. I was going to say anything human in your mouth, but, there goes my sex life.
No judging here.
Okay, so I'm going to pick one last one. Would you rather go 1 month with only a tank top on, so a vest top, or go 1 month with only a thong on?
Definitely the top. I've got more chance of staying warm.
Yeah, very slightly, but it's probably the tank top. I've also seen a fish-related one, kind of.
Oh.
So I'll say that one as well quickly. Would you rather be smacked in the face with a fish or farted on? I love that that's the first one that you've had to ponder on.
I'm running scenarios through my head. I'd say a fish because I could just be hit with something really small like a sprat. So, yeah, I'll take the fish.
That actually reminds me of that GIF ages ago that was created. There was it was a originally it was a fisherman who was on a fishing boat and he was catching obviously fish because he's on a fishing boat and he's in the sea.
The clue is in the title.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, this fish had come into the boat and was smacking the guy around in the face. But I think it was Graham Arnold. I think he changed our faces. This was when Andy was still on the podcast, and he changed the guys' faces to both you, me, and Andy.
Sounds like something Graham would do.
Yeah, I've still got them saved, so I'll send them to you. So recap your brain. I think I'd probably prefer the fish to the face as well, rather than... Because at least it's going to be once.
That's true. And you can easily clean up and whatnot, so yeah. Yeah.
Just a terrible timing as well. After the word farting and whatnot, there's a helicopter. That helicopter's going over my house again. So it sounded very vibraty. So if anyone heard a farty type noise, it was the helicopter, not me.
That's what she's always said.
That's what she says.
But these damn toilet things she's been focused on all the time, it's shocking.
Well, James, should we get into a story of the week then?
Absolutely.
Okay, so actually I'm going to save that until last. Headline reads, Massive tit fight breaks out in Scottish Park. What kind of tits do you think we're talking about, James?
Blue tit.
Oh, somebody's seen the article.
No, I haven't, I'm afraid, but I was just working on logic.
Oh, okay. They could have been green tits. They could have been yellow tits. I'm not even sure if those two are actually birds, to be honest.
I'm not sure either.
No. They may be cute little creatures, but these pictures show blue tits can be very territorial as any animal. The photographer captured the rare moment a pair got involved in a tussle while out in his local park. Scott Williams, that's my last name. Scott Williams, 54, took these pictures in Ayr. Is it A-Y-R? Is that Ayr?
Ayr.
Okay, Ayr, Scotland, after spotting the two birds coming to blows. He had visited the park to snap some of the local wildlife and managed to spot the pair whilst looking down his lens. That's a very good time to spot them. Because, it'd be gut-wrenching if you left the camera in the car and then you spotted them.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. The pictures show the two blue tits squabbling on the floor as one of them is pinned down by the other. Photographer Scott says, I was trying to photograph some birds in flight and noticed these two birds having a squabble in flight. They landed in a furious ball of feathers and I laid on the ground to try to get a good angle of the birds. The fight itself lasted a good couple of minutes and was ferocious. Ferocious. Rawr. It doesn't say rah. I'm pretty sure from the last photo that one of the birds has lost an eye. Oh, I must admit, I thought one of the birds wouldn't survive the fight, but thankfully they both flew off in the end. And that is the end of the story. So I'm very glad that I read that one first, because the other one is a little bit funnier.
It's a strange one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's one of those moments where you had to be there, I suppose, isn't it?
I guess so, yeah.
So have you got any viewpoint on this at all,
I mean, I can't really add much to that, I'm afraid.
No.
Yay, nature.
What a tit.
Yeah. I mean, you could say stuff like, what a lovely pair. The way it's been described, if you didn't know it was birds, you could think it's two women having a fight and he's some perverted photographer, all those sort of things.
Yep, exactly. No, that story has not left us with much communication, unfortunately. So we'll move on to your story next.
Not what to really say on that one.
No, you're right. You're right. I saw it. I saw the tit reference. I thought it might be funny. I was wrong. Moving on.
So, it's not every day you find an entirely new room in your house, but one woman finding a secret basement beneath her floor left people so freaked out they urged her to move. A TikTok user Abby, at Abby Mia, MIA 14, shared a video online of the creepy cellar that she came across after ripping up the flooring in her storage cupboard.
Ooh.
Beneath the carpet was a hidden staircase that led to a huge, dark and unused basement, with Abby convinced that someone had been down there. In the video that has been watched 731,000 times, she said, I cannot believe that we've just found in our storage cupboard. Someone has 100% been down there, she claimed. There was hardly any light down in the basement, and the walls looked old and were crumbling apart in places. And yes, on this picture, you can see the steps going down to the cellar. Mm-hmm. It says, the piece of scratched art on the walls and rubble on the floor with Abby capturing a video. WTAF! ! This is scary! ! People were just as freaked out as her, with thousands commenting on the clip and urging Abby to move out of her house. One person commented, nah, I'd be moving. Another said, pack up and get the funk out of town. And there's a picture of this scratched up poster that says someone has 100% been down there. But I've been down here.
Hold on, the scratching says somebody's been 100% down here.
No, she's made that comment about the scratch on the wall. And then it says, others said the basement looked like something out of horror movie The Conjuring, with one viewer suggesting, just close it up and act like you've never found it. One more teased, bruh, you've released the spirits now. Some people were quick to point out that many old homes come with hidden basements, and others said it looked like it would have been used during World War II. An extra space for all the activities, others advised renovating the cellar to get the use out of it. That doesn't make any sense what they've written there, but one person wrote, get it sorted out properly and boom, games room. And that's the end of the article.
Yay! Well, so, I mean, what a way to end the episode, the story.
I mean, all I'm going to say is, like, the girl putting, like, 100% someone's been down here. No shit, it's a cellar that's been closed off. Clearly somebody's been in it at some point. And, you can see someone's just taken a poster down and, like, scratched the poster off. And I'm thinking, so was it 731,000 responses? Are these people fucking morons? They're going like, oh, it's amazing, it's exciting. No, what happened is the house at some point had a cellar. Cellars create problems. A lot of people decided as a way of saving themselves dealing with heating and other stuff, they just closed it off. It's not magical. It's not fucking Narnia. It's not a horror film. Get your shit together, people. Get your shit together. You slapped a lot of you.
I haven't heard you rant like that for ages. It was fun to hear.
It's a moment between feeling ill, where my old energy levels must come back.
Yeah, that story got your heart rate going. Yay!
That's probably not a good thing, but go on.
Well, have a rest after. Well, this story might get your heart rate going as well, James.
Okay.
So the last story of the episode. So headline reads, man had 23-inch dildo stuck up his backside for 24 hours before doctors could remove it. Dun, dun, dun. So far. Good story?
Depends how you want to look at it, but go on. Depends what the angle is. Boom, boom.
Boom, boom. Well, it's slightly to the left. Right, okay, so they repeat what I've just read again, because this is the metro. In fact, it was wedged so deep that they actually had to invent a brand new tool to be able to get it out. The 31-year-old patient from Italy took himself to hospital after he tried, but was unsuccessful at removing the massive sex toy visible in shocking X-ray images, which I can see, but James unfortunately cannot.
Or fortunately, depends how you want to look at it.
Yeah. I mean, it is pretty big, a bit like an elephant.
I mean, I would also just say, no shame, if this person is really 21st century and all that.
Yes, indeed. The man, who has not been named, funny enough, said he had inserted the item into his rectum the day before, but that it was not removable by hand. Miraculously, despite the size of the toy, the man said the only discomfort he was feeling was mild abdominal pain. He had no other worrying symptoms.
Apart from sex toy up his backside, yes.
Yeah. Then, as they're trying to take it out, somebody turns it on. Grabbing devices which had previously been used in medical procedures were either too loose or too small for this particular case. Instead, they were able to craft a lasso-like implement to catch the end and drag it out, which does look like it's a very genius thing, by the way. So maybe we'll put some pictures up. They created a wire through a catheter tube in order to create a noose they could insert into his colon. Writing in the journal, lead medic Dr. Lorenzo Discori, and that's not his name, but this is as close as I could get, said several standard attempts with different extraction devices were made. We finally succeeded in the endoscopic extraction of the device, catching the distal. Is that a word? distal.
I can only assume so.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Catching the distal edge of the dildo with his guide wire lasso. This device showed a technical advantage as compared to any ordinary oh god, here we go. It always goes to the things, doesn't it? The big words. Polypectomy. There we go. With ordinary polypectomy snares due to its much higher stiffness. Oh, stiffness, James. Oh, say you. Oh, stiffness. The patient was allowed to return home on the same day as the procedure. Woohoo! And he later wrote a thank you note to the doctors for solving his embarrassing problem without needing to operate. A month on from his trip to the hospital, he reported no lasting symptoms. Yay! And that's it.
I mean, I would consider that it was probably it's a letter that he probably would have had to stand to write.
Yeah.
And as you commented earlier about if they turn this device on and it was electronic, I'm sure he would have no fillings left.
No.
But the other thing I find strange is surely when it's getting that deep in, you kind of realise it might be a good idea to stop when it's getting in so far that you can't easily pull it out.
You'd kind of think, wouldn't you? But by all accounts, the bum hole does go. So maybe that happened.
The mind boggles. But if it's the sort of thing that works for him, it's not my bag. But
no, I mean,
for a century, as I said, if it's the sort of sexual gratification this person gets, bum things for all, I guess, if it works for them. So.
Yeah, indeed. But 22 inches does seem like quite a lot.
Yeah, that's you can share a leg at the moment.
What are you thinking? If you're getting desperate, you just stick that leg up stick your leg up your ass. Stick the oh God, I can't get my words out.
No, I'm definitely not wanting to stick my leg up my ass, nor am I wanting to stick my chair leg up my ass. I'm just looking and thinking, I wonder if that's about the same length this guy had shoved up his back. Problem. Yes.
We'll get a tape measure and find out, okay? Yeah.
It's a very, whatever's worked for him. But, all I'll say, Salty Tadpoles, is stay safe out there and don't follow this man's lead.
No, yes, that might be a good idea. Or do, if you really want to.
Yeah.
But
we don't judge. We don't judge.
We will laugh at you, but we won't judge.
Yeah. Lube up, take precautions.
Yeah.
We'll laugh at you, as Gemma said, but we won't judge you.
Yeah. We'll have you laughing along with us.
It might be uncomfortable when you're laughing, but,
I think that is a fantastic way to end this week's episode. James, what do you think?
I concur.
Yeah. Well, in that case then, James, I think that is a brilliant way to end this week's episode. I have been Gemma.
I have been James.
And I think we both kind of forgotten how we actually end the episode there, because there was a lot of hesitation in our voices. So should we try that again?
Yeah. I think what you're looking for is that you feel we've been talking enough Codswallop this week.
Is it? Well, see, again, he can't remember shit, but he remembers everything I say. That's the best thing ever. Well, James, I think that we've been talking enough Codswallop this week. I have been Gemma.
I have been James.
Yes, you have. Woo!